And so your dad just spoke to improvements in putting given the increase in time application towards putting practice over the course of the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, I guess.
Talk to me about that. What improvements would he...
For him, I think also a lot of it like being mental improvements, kind of being more comfortable, kind of knowing that because for me, I'm the type of person, if I put work in, I get confident. You know what I mean? Like I'm not the type, I've always been growing up, I always kind of did lots of reps.
Yep.
So I've always been used to doing maybe more than required, but then taking that as my confidence boost for tournaments.
Yeah.
Less so being like performance in practice, but more so repetition being my kind of core. But yeah, so I think he's like seeing my stats when I do my practice or watching me do challenges and actually being relatively good in completing them. That's kind of his version of that. Technically, obviously, he can't give too much feedback because putting's just not his domain. He says it's boring.
Yeah. It's interesting you say that. It's so valid too that like almost the volume of work that you apply says that I'm worthy of feeling like I'm capable of producing in a competitive...
Getting better. Because I deserve... So I know golf owes you nothing, but if you put work in, you feel better about it.
No, I'm down with it. I'm down with it. Love it. Is there anything technically that you've been noticing and therefore... Obviously
backswing straighter, because that was one of the things that I was very much so struggling with. But I have to put, like, despite the amount of repetitions I've been doing, I still have to think about it, which is annoying to some extent, but also, I mean, that's part of it. It's not going to be like a quick change because I've been doing it for so long. But yeah, for me, that's kind of the thing. I feel like start lines have been really good in comparison to what they were.
Okay.
But then Dubai right now, I mean, it's really hot, so the greens are not in the best condition. I want to do it whilst I'm here. I want to do a lot of speed work, stuff like that, because I've not really been able to do that. I've basically been doing inside 15 feet.
Understood. Place the putter behind the ball. Okay, we're going to calibrate.
Yeah, you're going to have to
keep both hands on the putter. Thank you. Now close your eyes until I say open. And open. Thank you. Okay, let's roll some.
Almost managed to leave that short.
It's hard to do in here given the stimp.
Yeah, no, I was like, hey, Chiara, remember this is like stim 15.
Yeah.
How fast was this again? It was 15, right?
Yeah, I think it's somewhere between the 13 and 15 range. When it gets super fast, I find it hard to discern the differences.
It's a little out the heel.
Did you say a little out of the heel?
Yeah.
Define a little.
A lot. For me to feel it, it has to be a lot.
What number of millimeters would you guess?
I wouldn't be able to give you a good guess.
You wouldn't? Okay.
No.
Remember a discussion about awareness of pressure during your stroke?
Yeah.
Pressure in the stance. Currently using that? Currently not using that?
Center, very much so. At least I feel like it's center. Still.
Okay, carry on.
Strikes are not very good right now.
Yeah, heel, huh?
I thought that one was toey, but just in general, they're not great right now.
Yeah. Huh? What do you got to say? Huh? Want to say something to the people? He said, nah.
It's a new caddy.
Exactly. Carry on.
Right?
Yep. Yay. Last one, and then we'll move to a braking station.
All right.
Okay, grab those two. I'll meet you over there on the right.
Boo.
One more, and then on the opposite side. Okay, opposite side. Tell me what you see in your reflection.
I'm in that second, like I'm on the line out here. I'm not on this one, but I am on that one.
What does that mean? I'm on the line.
My eyes are slightly past the ball. I'm not exactly over the ball.
Okay. Okay. Set me up a gate in the last third of the putt that tells me where you're going to roll your ball here.
Last third.
Last third.
Gate.
Somewhere in here. That gate can be the width of your putter head.
All right. Do you know what stimp these are?
Stimp?
Yeah.
9.
9. Okay. Let me go back here. We're gonna have to go back and forth on this for a while.
Back and forth on which?
When I put these things down, like
That's
I want. How wide?
The putter head. Putter head width. Hmm?
Okay.
Did you have that as a 2?
A little less than a 2.
Less than a 2.
Does it have to go straight through the center, or just somewhere in that gate?
Just somewhere in that gate.
Okay.
Okay, let's move on. Let's go to the next one. Just one more.
Yeah, okay, this might go right half of that circle, but circle, gate.
So you're making a prediction that this ball, in order to go in the center of the hole, is going to go right half of that gate?
Yeah, like it won't go, I don't think left half. Like it'll be more right half of it.
Understood, thank you.
With the speed that I've got in my head.
Cool. That's all we need.
All right.
You can leave all that stuff here. Let's go back inside. What you're doing can be effective, but how you're doing it is less than ideal.
All right.
It's less than ideal from a technical standpoint on a couple of critical fronts. The first is where your body's positioned. Your eyes out over the target line by a consequential amount, and that consequential amount has you aiming the putter left of where the golf ball is. Then during the stroke.
Right, and that's probably also why that mat looked like it was aiming left to me.
Yeah, and I think that's also why, well, it's not also why, it is the reason why that first ball that you hit on the right to left downhiller went over the left gate, because you launched it left where you wanted to, and inside the stroke. So we've got putter left of ball. We've got two things in the stroke that are producing a great likelihood. Then in addition to you aiming your putter left at address, it's going to launch even further left than where the putter's aimed. I'm about to show you those things.
All right.
And so we need to undo those in order to let your high quality aim point green reading produce a much greater likelihood.
Was it pretty good?
Of made putts. You were spot on.
Okay.
Spot on. Now granted, sample size of 2, right?
Yeah.
Sample size of 2, but we don't need to spend time outside doing more of that work until this is cleaned up in here. So first step, just go ahead and stand over this ball. Address it. Okay.
Do you want me to hit it as well? Or just
no, I don't want you to putt. I don't want you to putt. Take a look at the video here. Where's the laser hitting?
My ear. I'm assuming it's supposed to hit my eye.
Eyes.
But then with that...
Can you grab that? So
that was really close. Okay.
I mean, you're so over it.
But I wouldn't want to get further away, because I guess it would make sense, because my old tendency was to get quite far away, so that's how I did that.
Yeah, for sure.
But if for me that feels like my pressure is pretty straight, should I feel like my pressure is more towards the heel?
You should feel hip hinged a little bit more.
Okay.
And that hip hinge will displace the middle section of your body backwards and your up section
So it should be pretty easy.
Come here, buddy. You're gonna go back up on the counter here. Oh, good boy.
Is that better?
Back up with your upper body. There.
Ugh.
Ooh, what?
Feels weird.
Good. Club face address. If you slide the putter back ever so slightly, you can see more space, the more white space in front of the heel of the putter than the toe of the putter, yes?
Yeah.
I need the opposite to be true.
Okay.
I need this calibration to what square is to be accelerated by actually creating an error on the opposite side, starting up.
So almost hold it that way a little bit.
Yep, so we're going to accelerate the development towards optimal by creating an error on the opposite side. This is good, this is good. Ready, open. Cool. Now, I need the slightest little bit of rotation open, let the toilet club gate in the backswing.
Yeah.
And I need a whole lot more handle swing towards the target in the follow through.
All right.
Because you have a net change, I think, it's on the screen.
Like negative, I'm going that way a little bit?
Yeah, so your lofted address is 1.7 degrees, your lofted impact is 3.1. So you've added
a lot.
Yeah, a lot of loft back to impact.
Okay, so I want to feel that.
Yep.
And then that, basically.
And then keep the handle moving. That.
Okay.
And doing more of all three, but yet the proper amount of foot positioning away from target line, eye positioning over golf ball. So this is optimal. Right?
Okay.
We're going to open the face at address, we're going to open the face in the backswing, and we're going to travel the handle to the target. Go. Travel the handle, travel the handle. Nice. Now what makes sense is the question that I asked outside. What number of reps would we be able to do without inviting that? Just holding position or strokes after strokes after strokes would introduce pain, because this is what needs to happen.
All right.
A bunch of these. And your answer was little to none. On screen currently. Now. Before.
Oh wow, that was really far back.
Oh, you're hitting a chip shot.
I was trying to keep it low.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's windy.
Hug in the grass. Yeah. Much better. All right, now we're going to do a sound pot lab catcher. Before we do, we could have started in here, didn't even go outside, except for the fact there's a chance that this doesn't happen outside, because I've seen it before.
Yeah.
What happens in a lab isn't necessarily what happens out in the wild.
Yeah.
So, let the athlete behave in the wild. Okay, we confirm. Still over the ball too much. Putter face still left. Closing the backswing. Lofted to impact. Very much evident left launch from where you want to launch them off the grass. So, take a look why. First screen you'll see is the putter face aim at address, right? That's partly based on your eye positioning and partly based on just how you're seeing things. We need to adjust how we're seeing things. Okay. Then we have the net effect of that, this screen, the net effect of that, which is the face impact and the path impact following to the left. And then we have best viewed on the 3D screen, which is in the screen here now. Pay particular attention to the shaft lines, the fan out effect that happens. And this will describe how you're creating a change in the pivot point of the putter. As you're transitioning the forward motion, it kicks the loft back under the putter. That's the in-plane release that cancels out the effect of a super back ball position, but adds more of the potential for left launch.
Right.
Here we go. So here's the bottom pivot point, and now the pivot point's happening up here. And so your left is changing abundantly, right? Now the pivot point's way up here.
Yeah.
Right. And so that's where it was. And now we're going to put data behind and use the data as feedback as well to success. Because it's one thing to do something, but there's an amount of doing something that we don't want to overdo as well.
Yeah.
Right? Because we can then introduce errors on the opposite side. And so now we're back into using the tech to refine the exactness of that thing.
Yeah. Is this something that do I need the tech whilst you're not here though? Or is this something that I can do with this? Is that going to be enough?
Yeah, and hence the question outside, how often are you monitoring it yourself? Yeah, with a camera, it should be very simple.
Okay.
With a template, with some measurements that always put you in the right place. At least you cancel out the effect of an address error that causes a stroke error. And then there's two things in the stroke. It's like, okay, what's my face doing relative to my target line? What's my face doing relative to the path, which we see from our bird's eye view, which we were doing last time? And then from face on, what's my handle doing relative to where that fulcrum is, that pivot point is, up through my spine. And we could even make that easy by doing some suspension point putting work to where you, rather than ball starting back and being lofted into impact, it's like, okay, cool. My handle, if anything, is traveling further to the left of my fulcrum. This is like...
exaggerated.
Yeah, kind of. And I don't think it's as necessary, because I think what we would like to be able to do is just show you how to see it. Yeah. And then you'd have a check and balance that says, okay, if my handle's traveled to here on a given distance apart, which outside is just 8 feet, then I should always be able to check that my handle traveled and my club head travel match up.
Right.
And let me get a video real quick, so pop me one more.
Okay. I'm overthinking now. I don't know if that one was good or not. I hit it down. I hit it in the center, but I don't know if that's because I moved it down or if I did that correctly.
Okay.
I'm scared.
Why are you scared?
Because I want to have done it well.
I can appreciate that. Okay, let's leave those videos alone for now.
Okay.
And compare contrast.
Is that is the left one the first one we did?
Yes, 10:08, the timestamp. I thought my mouse was over there. I don't even know where I'm at. There we go. 10:08,
okay.
Timestamp.
Cool.
11:12 timestamp. So, some amount of left aim tendency was coming from what?
My head being too far forwards, and then also kind of everything being that way, and
yeah, everything being
ball
closed,
position being back.
Yeah,
yeah, just a combination of different things.
Yeah, exactly. There's the face rotation from that closed orientation. So netted out 1.3 at end range of motion in the backswing, and actually added closure off the ball here. This graph being underneath the x-axis says there's a rate of rotation in a closing direction.
I did that
the ball,
at the beginning.
Versus almost immediately opening and then netting out at end range of motion 4.6 degrees relative to target line, and that was on only a slight increase in range of motion at 312 milliliters versus 273. Yeah.
Okay.
If anything, the arc shape is flatter at 19 degrees versus 21 starting out.
Oh.
Yeah. This arc shape is more aggressively left on the, on the follow-through side. Yeah. And so then the last piece of all of this would be the piece that pertains to the loft change in a more lofted direction at 1.4 degrees of out of loft, yeah? Mm-hmm. Yeah. And now we're on the opposite side of it. Unfortunately, we're too much on the opposite side of it. Yeah. Okay. And we're too much on the opposite side of it, interestingly enough, with mostly a movement sensation there, right? And that's why I wanted to catch a video. Mm-hmm.
But I guess that's still in range, right? You said 0.5.
Yeah, exactly. So. But then we get into a conversation about, okay, is 0.6 of a degree of predicted launch effective, optimal?
I don't know.
Yeah.
You'd have
it's in
to
the
tell me that.
1 to 2 degree range, depending on the surface you're putting on.
Okay.
Yeah, so that surface out there at a 9, as grainy as it is, it's not high enough of a launch.
Okay.
15s off this surface, totally fine.
Perfect, because it's
totally fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. The pile is very small, and there's not much of a
bounce.
Need to get the ball up on top of the grass. Okay. And so how would we get out of this? We just get out of the lofted address. Could we get out of it in terms of putter loft? Sure, we could do that as well.
But then I'd have to be consistent enough, because if I change the putter loft and then go back to that,
then you're really in a bad place.
Really screwed.
You're really in a bad place.
Exactly.
So net change after about, what we said, 10:15 and 11:04.
Yeah, basically 1 hour.
Yeah, it's good. We're trending in the right direction.
Okay.
But how we take this and make it great is it needs to become second nature, and then we can start to manage the minutia. Yeah. Right? Or those second order priorities, or the second order hierarchical kind of points of importance, if you wanted to call it that. But yeah, this is really good. And so we're just going to do this for another 30, 45 minutes.
I can do that.
And then we'll go test it outside.
Yay.
Cool.